Hello everybody, Steve Griffiths here, developer of the MTPredictor software program. In today's video I would like to take a look at how the YM unfolded yesterday, which was May the 9th, which is Wednesday, May the 9th. I'd like to particularly look at the YM because this is what we were discussing in our MTPredictor trading room yesterday, and I want to go through some of the ideas that unfolded throughout the rest of the day. So first of all, I want to have a look at this using the standard trade management guidelines, and then go forward and see what difference it makes using the larger degree trend on the 15-minute chart. So here you would have had a sell set up here. If I put the analysis on, you can see that would have taken you in and stopped you out from -1R loss. If I put the analysis on here, this buy setup, if I now bring the cursor down, you can see it's actually on a black STF. That bar there was black, so that was valid as a perfectly standard trade management standard MTPredictor trade setup. So you would have been long on that one up into the first target here, STF weak plus 3.5R. So far you'd be -1 plus 3.5. You then would have had two more valid setups here. The first one here would have been -1R loss, and this one here again would have been a potential -1R loss, or perhaps you'd have brought your stop to break even. So the result for yesterday on the YM using the standard trade management guidelines would have been possibly plus 0.5R profit, or maybe plus 1.5R profit, depending on whether you'd have had a break even on this last trade. So basically not a lot happened overall on the standard trade management guidelines. So let's see what a difference it can make incorporating the larger degree trend using the 15-minute chart. So I just want to bring up the 15-minute chart here, and if I scroll back, in fact I'll put a bit of white space on the right hand side so we can just use that as a there we go. So this is what we were talking about yesterday in our trading webinars, and this is why it's so important to attend these trading webinars to learn how to use MTPredictor properly, and as such value its full potential. So what we had here is, before the market even opened yesterday, we came back to this prior pivot and we put what we call a decision point on. I'll just put a box around this just to bring it back out a bit with the NinjaTrader drawing tools. So this level was on our chart before the market even opened. Let's scroll forward and see what happened. Well, as you can see, the market came down, hit this level, and then started to reverse up. In fact, we got an automatic DP buy set up here at the same time. So what this meant, if I'll go back a bit, what this meant is, if I put the analysis on here, you can see that the market, or the 15-minute chart, was suggesting that the market was going to rally up into this particular target here. So at this point in time, throughout the early part of the day, as we came down to this first level, then it was suggesting the market was going to rally. So that first of all means, when you go back to the 3-minute chart, what would you have thought of this particular sell setup? Well, this is what we discussed at the time yesterday, in that because we were anticipating the market was going to rally, we were suggesting that sell setups might not be a good idea, and I actually said at the time what I was looking for was the market to finish a rally up here, then make a correction down into an ABC kind of pattern. Ideally, I was looking for this pattern to unfold earlier into a potential wave 2, so we could have had a holy grail trade set up into a wave 2, but this ABC here unfolded a little bit later in the day, after quite a big rally here, so this would not be considered what we call our holy grail trade setup, but nevertheless it was still a good buy setup. So do you see how this buy setup here would have been a good trade to take, because it was in the direction of the 15-minute trend, but this sell setup here was not a good idea because it was against the 15-minute trend as it was going up. Now that was good so far, so this would have helped you avoid one loss and had a good profit. Now here comes the interesting bit. If I put the data box up, at this time here, which was about 2 o'clock, we then got a automatic TS3 sell on the 15-minute chart, that meant that a high was potentially coming in here, and now the trend was potentially turning down. If I put the analysis on here, the trend, just take that off, I'll clear the chart off so there's no confusion. The trend now off this high here was then potentially down for the rest of the day. So now if we go back to the 3-minute chart and look what this meant for our 3-minute trades, this would have been our 15-minute sell setup here. So can you see now how these two buy setups later in the day were now against our 15-minute trend? So in other words, they were trades that you should have either avoided or been very wary about taking. So this is a very good example here of how to use the large degree trend, because very simply we have actually enabled us by using first of all our DP support here, and then also the rally up into our TS3 cell here. This allowed us to set the large degree trend to be up throughout the first part of the day once this low was in, and then down in the latter part of the day. And then instantly it allowed you to avoid this losing trade. It allowed you to take this profitable trade because it was in the direction of the large degree trend, and as such allowed you to avoid these two losing trades down here. So in other words, it's managed to greatly improve your trading results for yesterday by simply using the larger degree charts to get your large degree time frame. And this is why we spend so much time teaching this in our webinars, because once you take this step and actually start incorporating the larger degree trend into your trading, it will greatly improve your trading results. So I hope this has been a good example yesterday of how to do this, and as you can see, once you incorporate this, you would have had a very good profitable trade in the mid part of the day of this standard and automatic MTPredictor TS3 buy setup.